Our 2025 goals and predictions. Here we go. This is extensive. I really went out. I cannot wait at the end of this year to look back at this. My personal goals. Let's start here. Playback. I want to be a top 5 channel on the site by year's end. I think this is somewhat doable. I have to go really hard on playback. I'm not sure though, because I'm not sure if by member count this is possible, just because I think there was such like a big influx of people joining the site whenever the site became a thing, that I don't know if the growth is necessarily there still for me to get there member wise. And I don't know. I don't even know what that looks like member wise. Like Low. Is that how people say his name? Low? L-O-W? Lau? He has 22,000. I have 2,000. So that would be kind of, but I think by viewership, we could maybe reach there. I think I'm one of the more viewed channels on the platform, to be honest with you, which is nice. Paul, need replace mic on that list? Really? Wait, does the mic sound bad? I hope I don't need to replace this mic. I didn't even know you could become a member on playback. Is that like subscribing? No, it's just like a subscriber, basically. He's trolling. You know what? I'm actually adding something real quick here. Stop falling for trolls so easily. This extends beyond my chat, obviously. We know Paul. We love Paul. This extends beyond... Paul has got a statue outside the site, Delusional Club. This extends beyond Paul. This goes on to Twitter as well. YouTube, 50,000 subscribers. 50,000 is too low on YouTube, not ambitious enough. You say that. You know, I'm at around 25,000 right now. That'd be doubling, which is great. Anytime you can double your subscriber count, that's phenomenal. So... I think 50,000 is a number that I would like to get to. Paul with the 5 gifted. What an incredible guy he is. Like I said. I think he means in the sense that you technically replace your mic on January 1st. That's true. That's a great point. YouTube 50,000 subscribers. I think we can get there. It's going to require, this next couple months are going to be huge because it's trade deadline. I'm going to go hard on trade deadline. And I'm going to get to a point probably starting next week where I kind of think I want to do maybe a video a day or something up until the trade deadline talking about potential trade guys. And I want to add something here to the YouTube. Focus more on evergreen long form content. Those are videos I want to start making more of. Okay. Those are ones I want to start making more of. Slightly early, stick to a strict schedule. I've been kind of bad about this. We want to stick to a strict schedule for slightly early. And here's my new announcement. So here's the new announcement here. Today is Friday the 3rd. Starting next Thursday, January the 9th, every single Thursday at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, I will be live on Bleacher Report to talk about the Dallas Mavericks. That is every single Thursday for the remainder of the year. I will be on Bleacher Report to talk about the Dallas Mavericks. Okay? So we're excited about that one. It's simply because of the fact that I'm going to be on Bleacher Report talking about the Mavs, obviously going to be on Locked On talking about the Mavs so often. The amount of time that we really spend talking about the Mavericks on this channel, especially during like slightly early streams, we might space it out a little bit more. Obviously, we'll talk about them after games and when we feel like we have to talk about them, but I can only talk about them so much, you know? Like I've already kind of reached that point. Like how much more can I actually really talk about this team? Is it not on YouTube? No, it's on Bleacher Report. We'll talk more about it next week, okay? We'll talk about it next week. But yes, I'm excited about that. 5 p.m. Central Standard Time every single Thursday. And if you guys have been there before, you know, it's very similar to this. But it's just on Bleacher Report. And yeah, we'll make it cool. We'll make it good. We'll make it look good. Collab with other creators more. This has to happen. I've been bad with this, admittedly. It's funny because I have like a good amount of really, really cool content creators that I really respect and really think are awesome. That like we're mutuals on Twitter. You know, we talk on Twitter. We DM every now and then. I just gotta collab with these guys more. Got to collab with these guys. Collab with other, you know, Mavs. There's so many great Mavs content creators out there as well. It feels, I mean, I don't know. I'm not like deep in the weeds with other fan bases, but man, the Mavs got a lot of great content creators out there. Matt with the 199. Hello, father. Hello, son. You got, you know, TGK, obviously. The We Talk Mavs guys. Always love those dudes. It's just hard. It's hard to collab with, you know, like TGK as a pregame show. I don't really have the time to hop on there. We Talk Mavs, they do a postgame show. I don't really have the time to hop on there either. But I would love to collab more with some people, for sure. Obviously, Marcel, Mavs Digest, you know we love him here at the channel. Vengeance Wood collab, that's my guy. I would love to. Twitter, use it much less. I've already been much better at this over the last few months. Really, honestly, you want to know what was Utility Sports on YouTube. He's also a Mavs fan, makes great sicko level content. I think I have heard, yeah. You want to, when we did Slightly Unplugged and I went a couple weeks without being online. Ever since then, I've been on Twitter less. I don't want to delete it off my phone because I do use it. I use it. You know, the thing that Twitter is better at than anything, and it's become much worse lately, but at its peak, you didn't get the, you know, unfortunately, it's been a very, 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 very bad start to this year in terms of some of the stuff happening across the globe, right? But when events like that happen, like the New Orleans terror attack, Twitter is such a useful tool just to stay updated in the moment on things that are happening, right? So I'm not going to delete Twitter. And then when you talk about sports, it is important to just like be in the know, be updated on things. And I've said this, I think I mentioned this on a playback stream. I've been using Twitter less, so I'm like, I feel less informed as to things that are happening. How does this affect LeBron's legacy? That's a great point. I don't know. But I do need to be on it less. And ever since I did Slightly Unplugged, I have been on it less. But, you know, it just feels like with the addition of the For You page, the shit that I see that pisses me off just increased tenfold. And it like puts me in a bad mood. I'm ashamed to say that. Because it's just like the Tyler, the Creator meme. Turn your phone off. You know, step away from the screen. But sometimes I'll see some shit. And admittedly, the number of trolls I have increased. And they don't piss me off. But it is just like oh, God. Read a book a week. This one's not going to happen. I'm going to tell you straight up, honestly, right now. This one's not going to happen. But I just want to put it out there that I would like to read and finish more books. Just want to read one book per week is cray. I'm a pretty quick reader. Book a month? No, I can read more than that. Like that book I started a couple days ago that I talked about on stream, the public transit book. Human Transit is what it's called. What's the name of the author? I'm so bad about the author's names. I'm about halfway done with it already. Incredible book. Really, really important book. If you guys are kind of on the fence about public transit and stuff like that, or would like to learn more about the benefits of something like public transit, it's by Peter. What's his name? What's his last name? Oh, Jarrett Walker. Good book. Would highly recommend it. Reach, set up merch shop. Now, what do I mean when I say set up merch shop? Obviously, we did the slightly unblocked slightly shirts, which, by the way, I found a box that still has like 15 or 20 or so left. I might just sell them soon. But I want to set up a real merch shop, like a real merch shop. This one feels like a reach, but I would love to have it happen. Net worth improved from $7.9 million, which is my net worth currently, to $14+ million. Would love to have this happen, obviously. Money's not everything. Money's not everything. Not having it is. Remember that. So we're trying to get to $14 million. Just a small number. Something like that. Don't want to be up there. Try to play basketball 2 to 3 times a week. I pretty much did this for most of the year, this past year in 2024. But would love to find a consistent schedule. My only thing is I don't have a lot of time. Like, my windows to go to the gym are small. And the times in which I do go is usually like in the middle of the day. So it's very difficult to find enough people to play, But I would love to find like a consistent schedule. Win this year's Mavs Twitter tournament. If I do partake in this year's tourney, my goal is to win it. Make no mistake about it. My goal is to win it. Slight GM might have to come into play here and start recruiting. But if we're playing, we're winning. All right? B-Dot, you will 1,000% be on the team. Sell glasses. I want to partner with somebody to sell glasses, but I don't think I have the juice yet. Have a sick new setup by the start of the 25-26 season. I'm very hopeful this happens over the summer. Have a cooler. I offer my hooping skills to you at the Xmas Day game. Screw, that was you, dude. I told you to hit me up. I admittedly don't get my phone number out to people. I had a weird thing with that once. But if you are on social media or anything, please hit me up. I will invite you to when we go hoop. Have a sick new setup by the start of the 25-26 season. And I want to healthily, I put this in there, it's very important, down to 215 pounds. I'm at 230 right now, which, I'm a taller guy. It's overweight, for sure. But a lot of it's muscle, Not like a morbidly obese. And I am down significantly to where I was at my heaviest, which was 260. I was 260. Jesus Christ. Again, like I've always been somewhat active and stuff, so it's not just like a complete fat 260. But can we get down to 215? This is like at my peak shape back in like 2018, 2019 when I was grinding. 215 was where I was at. I want to get there again. How tall are you? 6'2", 6'3". And I say healthily. I always say this whenever I say I want to lose weight. I don't want to put any weird things into the atmosphere, into the universe, knock on wood. Healthy down to 215. Healthy. I don't want to lose weight because I got sick, or I don't want to lose weight because I developed a fucking drug addiction. Lineman or linebacker build? I would say more linebacker. So those are my personal goals. I'm hopeful that we look back on this in a few months, in 12 months, and no Ozempic. No Ozempic. All natural, baby, besides the steroids. All right, here comes the predictions. I have a lot of these. Look how many predictions I had. I was going a little bit crazy with them. Don't look too much into these. I kind of went out there with some of them. Let's start here. The Celtics' weird year continues. Did you realize they were 7-6 in December? Upset in the playoffs. I put Knicks, but maybe Cavs. I just envision the Celtics losing in the playoffs this year in the Eastern Conference. I don't know why. There's stuff that I can write off that's happened to them this past month as just, the ebbs and flows of a season. But there's other stuff that's a little concerning to me, that Horford looks old. We knew this was coming, and KP cannot stay on the fucking court. So that opens up a lot of problems for them, honest to God, defensively. Drew's 3-point percentage is down. Pretty much everyone's 3-point percentage is down. It does kind of feel, though, like, how many games did they lose all postseason last year? 2, right? They lost 2 games. I don't know. Tatum got carried by Jaylen Brown, Derek White, and Holiday last year. Well, Tatum has been awesome this year. They do have that. But I don't know. The Knicks are and this could be prisoner of the moment stuff. It's January 3rd. The Knicks are playing great basketball lately. Offensively, they're incredible. And man, I just cannot. I watch the Cavs. Did you already talk about how Kenny complaining about how many threes they take? Kenny Smith? You talking about the inside the NBA guys going on a rant about JJ Redick last night? Yeah. I know we have our concerns about the Cavs in the playoffs, but dude, they're good, man. But who knows? The Celtics will probably turn it on. But this is just my prediction. SGA ends up winning MVP comfortably. Wemby finishes top 3. So what would have to happen for this to be a reality? I think SGA is probably going to end up winning the MVP. They'll be pushing 60 wins in the Western Conference. I mean, that's nothing to turn your nose up at. And I want you guys to really watch Thunder games and really focus on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. This is a team that's top 10 in offense, and they really probably shouldn't be. Like, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is the reason they are top 10 in offense, period. They're great defensively. They have great defensive personnel. Obviously, they're the best defense in the NBA. Like, we know all of this. But offensively, they are 15.5 points per 100 possessions better when he's on the court. 15. I mean, for all the advanced stat nerds out there, that's like Jokic impact. So I do think by the end of the year, his case is going to be too difficult to ignore. Oh my God, dude. The Nuggets are 30 points better per 100 possessions offensively when Jokic is on the court. 30. Holy shit. Jesus. But I don't think the Nuggets are going to win enough games by the end of it. That'll be it. What would have to happen for Wemby to finish top 3? Like, SGA and Jokic will be 1 and 2. That much is certain. What would have to happen for Wemby to finish top 3? Giannis and the Bucks would have to be the 5 or 6 seed, and people would just have to be like, eh. By the way, that game last night was crazy. Did anybody see that? What was the run the Bucks went on at the end? 22. Wasn't it a 22-0 run? They went on a 22-0 run and had a chance at the end to win the game. Giannis had a chance and missed. 20-0 run in the last 6 or so minutes. Crazy. Wemby finishing top 3. Yeah, the Spurs are the top 6 seed. Could the Spurs be aggressive at the trade deadline and take advantage of maybe some other teams being injured, whatever the case may be? I don't know. Maybe. Alex Sarr ends up winning Rookie of the Year. So the Rookie of the Year race is very weird currently. Zach Edey's very impactful. The on-off numbers love him. He might end up winning it. But Alex Sarr has started to make some noise. Alex Sarr is starting to play some really solid basketball. Remember, he was the second overall pick. Like, he's going to have the draft position. I think by the end of the season, he's going to have the go out there and play 35 minutes and do shit. Stat boost that you see some rookies get. I'll say now, Alex Sarr ends up winning Rookie of the Year. Thunder make a big trade at the deadline and win the NBA Finals. So, look. It's just what I feel and believe. Okay. And what's their big trade looking like? Man. If they could get Cam Johnson, what a perfect fit. What a perfect fit that would be. That would address a lot of concerns they have as well. And they definitely have the pieces to make it happen. I think that they have so many assets. They consolidate the trade deadline. They make a big move. What if they tap back into the Lowry thing? I mean, nobody's talked about that. Has anybody spoken Lauri Markkanen's name? I haven't heard anybody say a single word about Lauri Markkanen this year. I have not heard a single word uttered about Lauri Markkanen. Can't be traded? Wait, oh, that's right. That's right. Alex saw Rookie of the Year is kind of unhinged. Is it though? Like, he's been playing much better lately, and nobody has like solidified themselves. He was the second overall pick. He's been playing much better. He signed that extension before the season. That's right. I forgot about that. I'm telling you, Cam Johnson on this Thunder team, they had, some good postseason experience last year going up against a great Mavs team. That's my big Thunder prediction. The Mavericks play the Nuggets in the playoffs. We've kind of been waiting for this for a while. These teams always play close. These games are always entertaining between these two teams. I think these teams finally meet up in the postseason this year, and I think it's one of the best series of the 2020s. Like, I think it's a classic. Luka finishes the series averaging 37 points per game. Jokic finishes the series averaging 31, 15, and 11. I'm not going to predict who wins. But I think we get an all-time classic. That's what we need. We need a Nuggets Mavs series. Never happening like 76ers Bucks. That would suck. DQ, how would you feel at a Mavs Nuggets series? That's what I want to know. Mavs sweep the Nuggets. I think it'd be very competitive. But we would love that. NBC and Amazon, don't forget the start of the 25-26 season. NBC, Amazon are in the mix. NBC and Amazon have incredible start to their coverage. I'm very excited about where this is headed. Now, I didn't realize this. I did not realize how many games NBC was going to be broadcasting this year. I was reading an ESPN article last night about it. Let me see if I can find it. Sadly, my PC is cooked. I hate to hear that. What has been the best series of the 2020 so far? Doesn't it have to be the Bucks, Nets? Does it have to be Bucks, Nets? Real quickly, I want to talk about this, what Amazon and NBC are planning to do. Monday, Peacock, NBC streaming service, will air a doubleheader every week. Tuesday, NBC will air 2 games on regional affiliates. Wednesday, ESPN will air its usual doubleheaders. Boo. Thursday, Amazon will begin airing primetime games in January after Thursday Night Football ends. Friday, Amazon will air primetime doubleheaders. ESPN will also occasionally air some. Saturday, ABC will continue to have primetime showcase games, while Amazon will occasionally air games in the afternoon. And then Sunday, NBC will air primetime games after Sunday Night Football wraps up in January. I'm so excited for this. NBC is going to have up to 100 games, while Disney will have 80 and Amazon will have 66. I'm very excited about this. NBC was on top of their shit when they had the NBA last. And I cannot wait to see how this looks. Yeah, Dirk's with Amazon, right? Amazon's not fucking around either. I'm telling you guys, Amazon's going to take this shit really seriously. And I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be great for the sport. How about this prediction? Stephen A. Smith leaves ESPN for Fox News. I think he had some appearances on CNN during the election lead up. I forgot what show it was, but I saw somebody say that he frequently goes on a political radio talk show. I forget which one it is. I think he's maybe positioning himself to move on from ESPN. Now, Fox News, CNN, these news networks, they give out they're talking about different money. They're playing with different money than ESPN is. I honestly think they could double Stephen A. Smith's salary, pay him $30 million. Sean Hannity. He goes, that is what it was, the Sean Hannity show. I think they could double his salary and have him work half as much as he works currently with ESPN. I know he signed an extension, but I don't know what the fuck that means. You have the Stephen A. Smith show. He's sort of opening up different avenues for his talking. I think he's positioning himself to leave. Honestly, I do. That's what it kind of looks like to me. And I think in response, ESPN begs Skip Bayless to return, which we've already kind of had rumors of, that ESPN was kicking the tires on bringing Skip Bayless back and reuniting him with Stephen A. Smith. Now they could reunite him with Shannon Sharpe as well. I'm going to add to this prediction. He says no. This ends up being good for ESPN in the long run. It ends up becoming the end of this era of ESPN. The personality over sports era, the personality over talking about sports era comes to an end. And they start to focus on other things, and it ends up becoming good. It ends up being good in the long run for their network. That's what I'm hoping for, okay? Skip joined CNN. Oh, man. This is my personal... I'm manifesting this right here. Massive college sports betting scandal drops. I don't even think this is that crazy of a prediction. We're getting this at some point. I hope you guys are mentally prepared for this. We are getting a massive college sports gambling scandal at some point. The NIL deals, these athletes making money, it's all for the better. With the, obviously, I'm not ever going to disagree with that. But with the integration of sports gambling and how prevalent it is in sports, there's going to be a ginormous scandal at some point. And I think it's going to be in college sports. I don't know which sport specifically, but we're getting one of these at some point. I hope you know that. And it's going to fundamentally change how we view sports gambling. And again, it's going to be one of these things where it's going to suck at the time, but it's going to be for the better in the long run. That we sort of slow down how much sports gambling is prevalent. And in sports. Hawk Tuah Girl and the Rizzler are easily on ESPN halftime show panel by the end of 2025. You might not be wrong. Oh, man. The new All-Star Game format ends up being a huge success. I'm excited about this format. I know KD was hating on it. Haley Welsh replaces Stephen A. I'm going to bed now. Anywho. I'm excited for this new All-Star Game format. We need make it take it. I mean, just the tournament aspect of it, I think, is just naturally going to make it more competitive. I just think human nature is going to kick in. The competitive spirit is going to kick in a tournament-like setting like that. Skip and Stephen A. Smith have Fox News CNN debates, which attract much more attention than president debates. That would be so funny, man. When do they make gambling legal in Texas, you think? It's coming for sure. I'm not sure when, but it's coming. Jazz win the lottery. I don't want this to happen at all. But I envision Cooper Flagg on the Utah Jazz. Anytime I close my eyes and think about Cooper Flagg in the NBA, he's in a Utah Jazz jersey. I'm not sure why. I would love for it to be like the Hornets. I would love for it to be the Wizards. I would love for it to be really any East Coast team. It might be the Caucasian thing. It really might be. I'm not sure. But I I can't close my eyes and see Cooper Flag in a Wizards jersey. It doesn't pop up in my head. I can't close my eyes and see him in a Charlotte Hornets jersey. Like, it doesn't work. It reminds me, like, Wimby, you closed your eyes and you saw the San Antonio Spurs. Like, did you ever see a Charlotte Hornets jersey on Victor Wembanyama when you closed your eyes and thought about him? You God bless the Hornets. Did you ever close your eyes and see that? You saw a Spurs jersey. True, the Pels winning the lottery would not be a surprise because they seem to always do it. Cooper's from Maine. He's East Coast bound. Adam will make it happen. Adam doesn't give a shit about Maine. God bless Maine. But the Jazz win the lottery. That's my prediction. The calendar year of 2025 is crazy in terms of star movement. Obviously, the new CBA and stuff like that has made this a little bit more difficult, but I'm just looking at the landscape of the league, and it's been relatively quiet. I mean, there's always going to be player movement in the NBA, obviously, but it kind of has been quiet over the last year and a half or so. I think that changes. I think this year is going to be nuts. I really do. I can almost say, and I feel this with almost 100% certainty, that Jimmy Butler, De'Aaron Fox, Kevin Durant, and Zion will be on new teams by the end of 2025. That's just the way that I feel. Jimmy Butler feels like a foregone conclusion, obviously. The De'Aaron Fox stuff is going to be way too weird to ignore. Kevin Durant, he's getting older. I don't think the Suns team's going anywhere. They've been a weird disappointment. How surprised on the surprise meter, 1 to 10, 10 being the most surprised, would we be if in the next month or so, maybe it doesn't happen, but in the next month, there's like, hey, Kevin Durant might be, like, keep an eye out for Kevin Durant getting traded. I would have my surprise meter at like a 6, or if they ended up doing it, like a 6, where I'm like, whoa, that's kind of crazy, but kind of expected. Like, let's say the Suns continue this pace and they're like the 9 seed by the trade deadline. What are they right now? And the Rockets call them. They're like, hey, let's cut the bullshit. We wanted them last year. Let's cut the shit. Let's do it. The Suns, oh my God, the Suns are the 11 seed. I did not realize it was getting this bad for them. Trading KD or Book to the Rockets for picks back seems like one of the only positive avenues for the Suns. Yeah. And then I have a stretch. Domantas Sabonis I put on here because if the Kings do end up trading De'Aaron Fox, do they just shut it down? Like, do they tear it down completely? Joel Embiid, I don't think it's impossible if the Sixers flame out in the playoffs again. I don't think it's likely, but I don't think it's an impossibility. Devin Booker, I think it's possible. LeBron, I don't think it's impossible. But I think we're going to get some crazy, like, you just look at the landscape of the league and it just feels like, and I also want to throw out, okay, I have this one as my next one. Bucks lose early in the playoffs. They've been playing better lately, but I do think that they're going to, I don't know. I don't see them as a real contender at all. I just think defensively they're going to have too many problems. Too many problems in a playoff setting. And I think we get some pretty serious Giannis trade rumors again. And I think the Bucks make yet another panic trade. What does that look like? I don't know. And then Thanasis Antetokounmpo becomes an assistant coach. That's what I envision happening with the Bucks. It just feels like that's the Bucks cycle right there. Maybe this time would be different because Giannis is getting older. Their roster is getting older. The avenues for them to really improve their roster feel slim. But yeah, feels so good to have been right about the Suns all along. People laughed at me when I said the Suns were destined to fail. It's just, man, there's a world where they don't make the Kevin Durant trade. What does their team look like? They probably could have done an Ayton trade for somebody else. And you could have Book and Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson. And they obviously with Chris Paul aging out, they would have had to have traded for another star guy. Interesting sliding doors moment. You know, I actually think we're going to look back by the end of the decade. I'm going to tell you this right now. We're halfway through the decade at this point, or getting close to halfway through the decade. Are we halfway through the decade? 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024. Halfway through the decade. I think the Nets Bucks Game 7 is going to be the biggest sliding door moment of the decade. I think that's going to be the moment that we look at and say, wow, so many things could have changed by Kevin Durant's toenail. So many things would be different. Imagine what the NBA would look like. I honestly don't think Giannis is on the Bucks in that scenario. I think the Nets could very well still be together in that scenario. What a different world we live in if the Bucks lost that series. Nets would be working on a 4-peat right now. I think they would have won the finals that year. What an interesting timeline that is. Huh? Warriors asked Steph Curry if he wants to be traded, but he says no. I think that it's going to reach a point in Golden State where maybe they make a Jimmy Butler move before the trade deadline or something. They're not going to be a contending team. They're not a contending team. And you just look at their roster. How do they reach a contending point at this point in time? And also, look, man, Steph Curry played well last night, but he's kind of reaching that point old guys reach where the good games are fewer and further between. And I don't think they would ever trade Steph Curry without Steph Curry going to them and asking to get traded. And I think we get reports that the Warriors asked them, like, hey, do you want to be traded? We will trade you if you want to be traded. And he says no. But it becomes like, it's over. It's over in Golden State. It's done. Mavericks add a third star in the summer. I see this happening. I see this coming together. I don't know. Obviously I picked the Thunder to win the finals. I don't want to make any other playoff predictions. I don't know. Because who knows who's going to be healthy by then or what. But if the Mavericks are healthy going into the playoffs, I think they'll be a very tough out. And I think they'll look to be aggressive in the summer. I don't think they're going to do much of anything between now and the trade deadline. And I think if an opportunity presents itself this summer, I think the Mavericks are going to be uber aggressive. I do. I think they'll be one of the most aggressive teams to sort of try to maximize and capitalize on the Luka Kyrie era. Name names, I don't really know, specifically. They should just trade for BI right now. Oh, let me add Brandon Ingram. Brandon Ingram will absolutely be on a new team. That's not that crazy of a claim. He's a free agent, but Zion is Zion to the Mavs will always be a possibility. It so aligns with what the Mavericks do. I'm not giving up on that hope. I wouldn't say hope, but I'm not giving up on that possibility. Not giving up on that possibility whatsoever that Zion can be on the Mavericks at some point. Warriors add lead guard in the summer. Devin Booker, they positioned themselves to negotiate with the Suns. It's crazy. That's what the Rockets did this past summer. They traded for the Suns pick. They literally positioned themselves to negotiate with the Phoenix Suns. And everyone kind of assumed that was KD, and it could still be KD, but I think it could also be Devin Booker. They need a lead guard. They need one badly, and I think that they're going to be kind of lucky this offseason because I think De'Aaron Fox will be available. And I do think if the Suns flame out, I think there's a world where you could get Devin Booker. I do. He's always injured, which appears to be what the Mavs are best at. Yeah. Thompson twins make a jump, or is it too soon? No, I don't think that's a crazy prediction. Oh, and you'll see I have Spurs make massive trade during the summer, finish November as a top 2 seed in the West. I wanted to do the Texas 3-step here because I think the Western Conference could get back to this very interesting point, that a point in time in which it's been at in the past, where the Western Conference is kind of centered around the South, Oklahoma City, Dallas, San Antonio, Houston. Very real possibility that those are like the 4 best teams in the West next year. Saudi's doing the secret sauce with their everything at the wall and spike the football in one hits. Hell yeah. What's funny though is I don't think I'm doing any like contradicting ones. I always hate when people do like predictions and some of them contradict each other. You think Wembanyama will be better than Luka? How about this one? Calvin Booth and Michael Malone are fired. This doesn't feel like that crazy of a prediction. You can't really ignore how horrible that front office has been. And then Michael Malone is just an unfortunate casualty. Vibes in Minnesota start to feel really bad. Reports of player-only meetings. Someone punches Rudy Gobert accidentally, but it makes headlines. So I'm envisioning a world where maybe there's a scuffle that breaks out. Rudy Gobert accidentally gets punched trying to break it up, and then that becomes a big talking point. That's my prediction for the Minnesota Timberwolves. The vibes are already kind of weird there, huh? No, unintentionally punched. But everyone makes fun of Rudy Gobert forever for it. Doesn't Rudy get punched once a week already? Yeah, but this one's not his fault. Zion Williamson is a Miami Heat. I just see it. I know I just said that the Mavs, like I'm not giving up on the Zion to the Mavs stuff because it just does seem like something that they would do. But also, it makes so much sense for the Heat because they're kind of in this weird spot. Jimmy's done. Like this era is over. You're not contending with Tyler Hero or Bam Adebayo. I'm sorry, Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo being your 1-2 punch. You guys know I love Bam. He's been disappointing this season. Tyler Hero has been incredible. Should be an all-star. Would be my vote for most improved player if I had one and if the season ended today. But they don't have the guys to compete at the highest level. Zion gives them this hypothetical. He's young still. And if we could just fucking get through to him, you know, Heat culture, baby. If we can get through to him, all of a sudden our team looks a lot different. Zion next to Bam is kind of disgusting. Tyler Hero, you know, I don't know. I could kind of see it. Could also see Zion in Miami ending horribly, but I know I could see it ending horribly, but you never know. LeBron James announces he wants to play with Bryce James. I think it becomes clear by the end of the season that we might not be that close to a LeBron retirement tour. And then I think the chances of LeBron playing in the next Olympics grow day by day. It sounds insane. It sounds absolutely fucking nuts. He'll be 43, 44 by the time the next Olympics come around. I don't think it's an impossibility that LeBron James is on the Team USA team. And it's like a Sue Bird thing, no. Or not a Sue Bird, sorry. Fuck. Who was it? Who was it that was on the women's team this year? Oh my God. You guys know what I'm talking about. I'm blanking on the fucking name like a dumbass. Taurasi, yes. Jesus Christ. One of those scenarios where it's like, why are you on this team exactly? And you're not going to say no. You're not going to say no to LeBron. But Bryce James and Bronny James are on the Team USA team as well. Still no word on expansion. Somebody mentioned here in the chat, I think they are waiting for LeBron to retire because he wants to have an ownership stake in the Vegas team. But the expansion is something that we've been waiting for and just kind of assuming it's going to happen. And the longer we go without it, the weirder I think it gets. Dallas confirmed no interest in Jimmy. Yeah, it's not surprising at all. They don't have the pieces. It doesn't make sense. Here's my two favorite ones. Bill Simmons signs deal with Amazon. Zach Lowe signs deal with Amazon. So I want to say I heard recently that Bill Simmons was like in negotiations with Spotify. And I'm not sure he'd want to do this. But Zach Lowe is going to go somewhere. We know that for sure. And I'm sure the Ringer is going to really go after Zach Lowe. But what if Bill Simmons leaves? What if Bill Simmons is in contract negotiations with Spotify and then Amazon swoops in and says, hey, be like one of the lead guys for us for our NBA coverage. We'll bring in Zach Lowe too. We have infinite fucking money. We paid however many $1 billion to have NBA rights. We're not fucking around. Think about it. The Ringer almost doesn't need Simmons anymore. Man, I was seeing conspiracy theories that there was like a stretch where they were pumping out some Ringer podcasts without Bill Simmons. And there was some conspiracy that was Bill Simmons sort of showing Spotify or trying to show Spotify, see, they need me. But it could also be him just sort of testing the waters like, hey, could you guys survive if I were to go elsewhere? LaMelo Ball accidentally runs over fan's foot leaving stadium, vows to grow up, is on the cover of NBA 2026. Big baller brand shit. That's right. We know LaMelo Ball is a safety hazard in the Charlotte area because of his driving. I think it comes to a ugly conclusion. Nobody gets injured too much, but it ends up being a thing. And I do think he ends up on the cover of NBA 2026. Why do I think that? 2K26. Why do I think that? Because I saw the All-Star fan voting. I said, damn, he might be on the cover of 2K26 next year. Who else is going to be on the cover? Was Wemby ever on the cover? It could be Wemby. You had Tatum this past year. Who do you think could be a cover athlete next year? I'm trying to think now. Wemby does kind of make some sense. A lot of players change teams, but no teams completely tear their roster down besides maybe the Kings. So I mentioned I think this is going to be like a big year for star movement, but I even look at some of the teams, like the Heat aren't going to turn into a tanking team if they trade Jimmy Butler. The Kings very possibly could. The Suns, I guess, could, but they owe so many, like they gave out so many picks that I don't think they're going to want to tank. I think the Pelicans, even if they trade Zion, are going to try to be competitive. And Brandon Ingram. Shea's going to be on the cover. I could see that. We still need Jokic. Anthony Edwards, maybe. NFL announces games every day of the week on Christmas week, marks beginning of the end. This is some manifesting here. I think the NFL starts to get a little too big for their boots. They announced that on Christmas week there will be a game every day. They've already kind of like approached this. NFLPA would never go for that. I don't know, man. I don't know. Christmas for the NFL games was Germans going into the Soviet Union. Oh. Operation Barbarossa? Oh, man. They're not ready for winter. They're not ready for winter. They basically already did that this year. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. That's what I'm saying. They basically already did it. Yeah, NFLPA, man. Roger Goodell's going to tell them to kill themselves. You understand? They basically already do. I'm just now seeing this on the standings. The Raptors are 1-15 on the road. Okay. Ime Udoka gets into a verbal altercation with opposing player during playoffs. We've already seen him get into a verbal altercation with LeBron James. That was obviously an incredible moment. I personally thought so. I thought that was sick. Getting into it with an opposing player. I think he gets heated and gets into it with somebody in a playoff series. So what do you guys think the reason is for college football? It's like 1 of 8 on playoff games. These games have sucked. I did watch the Arizona State-Texas game. That game was really good and fun. But why have all of these games been terrible? Bro, what's with ESPN Bet app ads on YouTube with Play Flash music in the background? It's so weird. Nobody with a bye advanced to the quarterfinal round. And another thing that I personally hate about college football, the coaches are such fucking crybabies. The coaches are such crybabies. Like, what's his name? Kirby Yates? That's not his name. That's a pitcher. Kirby Smart? Is that his name? The Georgia coach, Kirby something? He was like, yeah, some of these guys who got a bye are better than other teams. We got fucked, basically, is what he's saying. It's like, man, shut the hell up, loser. You lost, loser. Saw that you should add the ESPN theme as a sound drop. That should be funny as fuck. I think it's copyrighted. And my last one right here is Mark Cuban's phasing out from ownership becomes ugly, barely at games to start the 25-26 season. I think the writing's on the wall for this one. I think this is like a foregone conclusion, I feel like. I don't think there's a scenario in which this does not get weird. Now, I hope it doesn't bleed over into anything else. But, yeah. We already saw it at times last year. Did they ask him not to sit next to the bench? I think that was more of an NBA thing rather than a Mavericks thing. But I do think that it's going to get weird. Did Mark get into some financial trouble, forcing him to sell the Mavs? I'm not sure. I mean, he's getting older. I think he probably maybe he just wanted to take a step back and just wanted to be a little bit more liquid. But anyway, these are my predictions and my personal goals for this upcoming year.